Let's go, boys. It's the Meatlock. You see the text. And shout out to our latest subs, Howard Mitchell and Braxton Anderson. We know you've been grilling and chilling with these locks, and we appreciate all you other sweaties who have been doing the same. Keeping the Meatlock streak going here, though, Meat. It's always fun. Fan favorite. Darren the Damage Elkins taking on Jonathan Pearce, aka JSP. And what can you say about JSP? I mean, this is a guy who, similar to Phil Rowe that we broke down earlier, JSP just keeps getting better and better. I mean, since he debuted against Joe Lozon, he lost that fight. It was back in 2019. It seemed as though he learned a lot of necessary lessons in that contest because the fighter we've seen in the 4 straight contests since that debut seems to level up every single time. Like, he absolutely light work smoked Kai Kamaka, sent him all the way back to Bellator, and after that, he got a nice win over Omar Morales, beat Christian Rodriguez, and then, perhaps most impressively, picked up that performance of the night. Easy work finish over Mach 1 Amir Khani, and he was essentially in enemy territory in that one, and it didn't matter. JSP went out there and simply made light work over his opponent, Mach 1, who is an always tough out for sure. And we think that JSP should be a lock in this one against, again, the always fun, always lovable Darren the Damage Elkins, who he too is coming off a nice recent win. He beat Tristan Connolly, aka Boonstonks, and one will never be able to figure out how Boonstonks ever picked up a win in the UFC, let alone against Michel Pereira, one of the true greatest mysteries of the UFC. But nonetheless, Boonstonks got absolutely smoked by Darren the Damage, and before that, Darren the Damage got absolutely beat down by Cub Swanson. If we remember, that was like peak Cub. Cub just finished him early. It seemed like every single strike he threw happened to connect to the chin of the Damage, and it made sense, why Darren the Damage's nickname was the Damage, because he simply personified that one beautifully in that Cub Swanson beatdown, and he did pick up nice wins to Derek Minner and Luis Eduardo Garagori before that, but he had lost 4 straight before that, and we know that he's just kind of at the tail end of his career, whereas JSP, seemingly at 30 years old, is just getting started. So what are your thoughts on this Meatlock? What advantages do you think JSP is going to have over Darren the Damage, and how do you expect JSP to get us our 65th Meatlock and keep the Meatlock streak hot?
Yeah, this is an absolute lock. They're really setting up this Jonathan Pearce guy. They're just trying to keep his win streak going, build him up. I mean, he's 30. He's just slowly peaking. He's only getting better and better, like you said. And I think he's going to finish him or a very dominant decision. That's how I see it. So definitely check out the props, but yeah, I think the Damage has been taking a lot of damage, and I mean, Boonstonk win just really isn't that impressive. Everyone in the roster should be able to beat him. For some reason, Michel Pereira couldn't, which was mind-blowing, and he's 38. He's on his way out. I think he's got 1 or 2 more, and he's retired, so he's not really crazy committed trying to get that title fight. While Jonathan Pearce has a chance to get a title shot in the next year or two if he keeps absolutely demolishing guys. So, lock nonetheless. Can't wait to see another Meatlock go down.
Yeah, for sure, and absolutely, the sky's the limit for JSP. Like, if he walks through Darren the Damage Elkins like we tend to think he will, then maybe next you get him a top 20 guy and see how he fares against them for sure. But featherweight is stacked, right? So it's tough to see how far JSP can take this, but we'd like to think that he can take it at least to the Darren the Damage Elkins for sure. And seems like Tapology agrees, right? 91% is rolling with JSP. Majority is Brown. They're going for that KO TKO. Probably thinking that the Damage just simply has accrued too much damage along the way, and JSP will put some finishing damage on him like many others have. And 9% is rolling with the Damage, and majority is beige. They think that if Darren is able to get this done, that it's likely by a grindy decision victory, which to me seems most likely. I don't know how reasonable it is for Elkins to finish Pearce, but Elkins did finish Mirsad Bektik in that fight maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where Mirsad was literally just beating the brakes off him, and then Darren the Damage let out that scream from hell and managed to get that 3rd round finish. So maybe he can get some crazy YOLO finish in this one, but I like to think that the Meatlock will cash in this one, and as a result, we're going to be going pretty heavy, boys. We're throwing down 598.52 at minus 475. gonna net us that 126, get us 1,000 in the green, and keep this meatlock streak hot because we're approaching that century mark for meatlocks and want to keep the percentage as high as possible. And we think Jonathan Pearce is the one to continue the hot streak for sure. So I like JSP. I like by finish. Do you think it's earlier rather than later?
Oh yeah, I think it's the first or second round. Damage is tough. Could be the third, but I like it early though.
I like it early for sure. So let us know, Meat Boys. Are you rolling with the Meatlock in this one? Are you taking JSP, and are you equally as bullish, or do you think damage is the one to spoil the party? Let us know in the comments down below, and take it to the grill and get the bill.